Hey Flosstube, how you guys doing? So today is April 22nd. Happy Earth Day to everyone. Today is also my youngest son's birthday, so happy birthday to him. So yeah, that's pretty cool. This video probably gonna be a mixed bag. I've got a fair bit of progress to show you. I feel like it's been a little while since I filmed again. Not too long, like maybe half a week further than what I usually film. But what I've noticed, with me taking a little bit longer between filming things, is I have more stitching to show you. So isn't that fancy? So yeah, and I flip-flopped around a couple of projects. Spring is a weird time for me, so I think the video is going to be a weird-ish vibe too, just because with spring, it's such a transition for me that I tend to get a little flustered with, I want to do stuff, but I also have so much that I want to do that I don't know what to focus on. So that's kind of where my brain is right now. So I'm kind of doing that with my stitching too. It's like, oh, I'm going to work on this piece. Okay, I'm done. Let's go work on, I usually don't jump around that much. Usually month to month, maybe I get tired of a piece, or I have a certain goal. I want to finish this part and then I move on. Lately now, it's just been all of a sudden I'm like, next piece, please. So yeah, I've got several pieces to show you guys. I do have some more haul to show you as well, but most of what I've got today is kind of plans, and we can call it Maynia if you want. I kind of stitch what I want when I want, but I feel like since it's the last Maynia, let's just do it big. So yeah, so the haul first. I think last video I told you I was having another order for 123 Stitch, which I've got another one. This one's a teeny tiny one though. I was missing some braid, so it finally came back in stock and I'm like, get it, so I ordered that, and I ordered a few other little things too, just to make it worth shipping. So some more braids basically. So, but here's what I got in that last order. And I kind of attacked a couple of Miras that I'd been eyeing for a while, and I decided, you know what, just freaking get it. So here's one, and I got all her beads with her too. So this is Andromeda, and I really like her, and I've actually seen pictures of her stitched, and in particular, there was a conversion where her shawl was blues instead, and for some reason that made all the chains and stuff she had on her stand out to me really more strongly than just seeing this picture of her. I think I like the light purple color, and I'll probably still use it. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe just seeing it stitched is why I saw the chains a little bit more, because I love that kind of shit. So now I am thinking with her, for some reason, when I look at her, I just picture stitching some words under her that says, well, this sucks. Because that's kind of she has this kind of well, shit, and Andromeda, poor girl, she didn't do anything wrong. Her mom's bragging on her, talking about how she's prettier than one of the goddesses, and then they got all butthurt, so she got chained to the rock to be freaking kraken bait. So that sucks for Andromeda, which usually things sucked for all the Greeks in these, hello Medusa. I would love if they did a Medusa chart, oh my god. But anyways, I kind of felt, bad for her, because she didn't do anything bad, the hell. So, and she's just well, this sucks, thanks, Mom, damn it. So I don't know if I'll actually do that, but for some reason, the thought occurred to me to do it, and it kind of made me go, hee, so sometimes when things spark me that way, because I want to find joy in my stitching, and that's kind of how I find joy. This was not in the 123 stitch order. I had mentioned this, I don't know if it was the last video, it might be the one before. I got the Autumn Queen off of Stash Unload. She did arrive. All's well, so that's good. I don't know when I'm going to be starting her, but I will say I've seen a few people stitching her, and originally I didn't really like this queen because when I first started looking at the queens, I was kind of in a long hair horror mode where, well, I still kind of am a little bit. I was really attached to long hair, and with her hair all bound up, I don't know, I just didn't like it. But seeing the pictures closer, it's more I had thought her head was completely covered. And I don't know, it just gave me that helmet that Princess Leia wears in the Return of the Jedi, I think it was, when they're on the planet with the Ewoks. It just reminds me of that helmet when they're riding the speeders and stuff and she runs into Wicket, so I don't know, it was making me think of that. But now that I've seen close-ups, it's more there's ribbon wrapped around it and it's kind of wound up a little bit. So I don't know, I'm kind of more into it. That, and I really love the turquoises and the plums. So that, and she's got whisper. That's what really sold me on her. She's got whisper on her. This one, I wasn't sure of her at first, but I saw some pictures and I'm like, you know what, let's do it. I love all the corally looking stuff. This is Mermaid Perfume. I like all the corally like projections from her hair. Not too big, like that tail is a little much, don't you think? You know, like damn, you know, if that was an evening gown and it had like a train like that, like seriously, how you gonna walk, you know? But because I noticed a lot of Mirabila's mermaids, there's like a fashion type design with their tails a little bit, so I think that's where this one was going. But I'm like, dang girl, good luck swimming with that. Like, but I like the corally bits, so we doing it. Not soon. That's just, I just got her just to have her. And then this one, I had already bought her beads. This is the Snow Queen. And I'm not sure hair color on her, because she looks like Elsa as a blonde. Julie from Kansas City Girl in Colorado World, she did her as a redhead and it looks really good, but I don't really want to copy her either, so I'm thinking maybe make her strawberry blonde or something, or maybe do Anna, make her like a ginger with a white streak or something, you know, like that. Be cool. And then this piece I got, I've just been eyeing it for a while. It's not my typical, it's kind of Quakery, but one thing that I will like a primitive type design for is if it is quirky, if it is gothic, or if it is nerdy. So like there's one, what is it? I think it's basically like a Star Wars theme. It's not Bless This Wretched Hive. It's named something else, but it's like, it's got like pretty much the Tatooine city or something on it. I don't know. I'll have to look that one up because I'm thinking about maybe doing it. But because I like geeky stuff like that. But I love Edgar Allan Poe. He's my favorite poet, shall you say. And I just love how gothic and dark his stories are and how emo he basically is. Like, I just really like it. So this is from The Raven, which I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with. Quoth the Raven, nevermore, you know. So don't know what fabric color I'm going to do. Might switch up the colors too, but I love the little cemetery with the moon there. I think that's really cool. Again, don't know when I'm doing that because typically I don't do primitive stuff. I get kind of bored with like the geometric stuff. Like, it's just kind of boring to me. I kind of like more flowy designs, like more Art Nouveau type stuff. So I like organic type shapes. So that's one reason I don't really like primitives for the most part, but I liked that one, so I got it. Okay, that's pretty much, there's a few other bits of haul I got, but I'm not ready to show you guys because I'm still like, what am I doing with it kind of stuff, but you'll see eventually. But I do have some stuff. Let me see. Let me show you the stuff I'm planning on starting here soon. So this one, I've showed it to you before, and this is a Terrence Nolan chart, Romance of the Sea. Little, you know, snogging merman and mermaid, and they got some cool little overwhelmed stingrays around them. Here's the fabric. I've shown this to you as well. This is Kaleidoscope by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I just really, like, I kind of wanted an opalescent for these two, but I really just loved the coloring. Oh, gosh, I can never get this to show up because it always shines through, but let me fold it a little bit. But I love this piece because it's overall blue, but it's got all these like hints of other colors in them. And you know, with her being yellow and him being purple, like I feel like this kind of picks it up really nicely. And just to give you kind of a preview toss-wise, here's the purples for him, and she's got some like orange in her tail too. Because when I was buying this floss, I'm like, where the hell's the orange go? It turns out it's like the deep shadows in her yellow tail. So here's what we looking like. Doesn't that look cool? I'm like, yes. If you guys wonder why I hem and haul over fabric so much, because I kind of do, it's because I want a fuck yeah reaction when I do a floss toss. You know, it's like, this shit takes a while to do. Like, I want to be like, yes, not just like, oh, this fabric's okay. So I might have to have a fabric sale at some point though, because I've accumulated a fair few fabrics that I was like, ooh, that's probably gonna look good on this, and then I get it and it's not quite what I was expecting, or certain colors aren't showing up the way I want them to. So I might have to have a little unloading, you know, to get rid of all the pretty much ixnayed stuff. I don't have everything for this piece. Here's my bin with all the randomness. I've got some of the metallics, I know I'm missing a few. The beads are in here, but they're probably going to get converted to delicas. Typically when I kit things up, I immediately convert to delicas and buy those, but I do better when I know what the Mill Hill colors are. So sometimes I buy like one container of them just so I can convert. So, but lately I've just been buying them because I tend to bead at the end. I don't like to because like beading's one of my favorite parts, so I hate saving it for last, because I want to get it started, but I also don't like, I use scroll frames, so I don't want to roll over them either, so it's kind of an issue with me. But and then here's a piece. I don't have a good picture of you, a good picture to show you, but this is for the Dark Queen of the Sea by Autumn Lane Stitchery. You can get it on Etsy. But I was printing out some of the chart, and this chart is interesting because you can modify many different pieces of it. Like she can be topless, boobs out, or she can be more covered up, or she can have a different face, she can have different hair color, she can have a different like crown, and then she's holding, like, they call it the magic, but I'm calling it now, she's a freaking Ursula octopus lady. Like, they haven't shown all the pieces, but I can tell from some of the shadows that there's like tentacle action going on, so I'm like, she's freaking Ursula. And there's all this black stuff circling, I'm like, she's inking. You made me ink. So, but in that part, she can either have a skull or like an orb magic shiny thing. So, but anyways, I do have kind of a piece of the chart I can show you because my printer is running out of ink. So this piece kind of got a little messed up, but basically that's kind of what she's looking like. And I know you guys aren't gonna be able to do anything with this because, the printer ink was lacking. Now, my problem with this design is some of the optionals, I'm not sure which one I want. I know which face I want, so that's good. I know I want her hair purple, but I like, some people have been changing the colors of her hair to where it kind of ombres to another color, and I like that, so I might play with that. I like the coral horns, but there's also like some people are doing like some jewel stuff, and there's this floating crown. I don't really like that, so I'm probably gonna ixnay that. But I don't know if I like the skull or the orb. And I'm not committed yet to whether she's going to be topless or not. I kind of like that she can be topless. You don't ever see that in cross-stitching ever. So I kind of want to just go for it. But at the same time, the top is really cute, So I kind of am tempted to stitch the top on perforated paper. That way I can, like, play dress up with her, I guess. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm probably going to stitch her boobs last just because I'm not sure if I want them covered up or not. Like, I like both of them, and I can't have one covered and one not. That'd be weird, so, and that's not in style right now either. So yeah, that's the only frustrating bit about that. I did buy the fabric from Under the Sea Fabrics. They dyed a piece special for it. It's called Bewitched, I think. Yeah, Bewitched, and mine is 32 count opalescent, of course. But here's what my piece looks like. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And I'll be getting her started before too long, because one of the things that I really love about her the most, and this is going to sound kind of weird, she has a weird skin tone. It's like this weird, almost zombie blue-green kind of color. Just funny, because if you do the topless version, her nipples are blue. But I'm like, it's just such a cool, weird skin tone. I love it. So it's just because it's kind of creepy. So, okay. We're staying wet with future whips. Got another mermaid here. So this one, I'm going to be starting it soon because I've been wanting to start this one forever. This is Brilliant Mermaid. This is by Dome. This chart is hard to find. I got mine on eBay and I paid a fair bit for it, but I really liked her. She's very cool. She's got lots of beads. She is not an American design. I don't even know where this company's from. It's hard to tell. But her threads are not DMC, so there's a conversion. And I'm not done doing the converting because, first off, when I bought some of the threads, I came up with this combination. And sometimes when you look at threads for a piece, I just look at them and go, ugh, So here's, like that. I'm like, ew. Where do those go? There's some flowers in her hair that I think this goes. So I don't think these, I don't know, 80s primary colors are going to take up a lot of her. but I'll stitch the flowers last and then decide if I need to switch the colors. So, because a lot of color switching is happening, but I have at least pinned down that I like the orange bits, and I'm pretty sure I've got her hair nailed down. So I'm going to do the orange bits. Her tail is very metallic, and oh gosh, there's this one. She has a floss tube, but she doesn't post very much. She's from England. Handmade by Hannah, I think it is. And she's stitched her before, and she kind of switched the metallics for her tail. And she was kind enough. I messaged her and asked her what she used. So I've got, I mean, there's a lot in here. Like, look at this. Look at all these metallics. This is all for her. Now, there are a few I think I've tossed in here because I'm tweaking things too. Because there's this one stripe of color in her tail that I'm not too fond of. And it's this weird turquoise bit in there. Like, it looks okay on here, but when you, this chart is in color. And the colors of the chart are kind of different from the cover. And I kind of like how the chart looks better than the cover. So I think I'm going to aim more for that. Like, she's a conversion anyways. So I feel like I can pretty much, I mean, you can always just sub colors or not. But I'm just like, I feel like there's no rules with her because she's, you know, the recommended stuff ain't here. So I can just make it up as I go. Her fabric. That's a little bit of a story. So I've shown you guys the piece of fabric I'm going to use for her, and I love it. I adore it. I think she's going to look great on it. So here it is, and this is it Kaleidoscope? Yeah, Kaleidoscope. So I had bought this, what did I have it in mind for? I think I was thinking about it for, gosh, I can't remember. It's on one of my old videos, but I was thinking about it for something else, and oh, I know what it was. This is the same piece as for Romance Under the Sea. That piece is a lot more blue. So I ordered this because I wanted it opalescent, and then it had all the greens in it. So I decided, you know what, I like this color for them, but for this one, it works for her. So that just goes to show you when you order fabric, you never know what you're gonna get, kind of. So, but this one's got lots of oranges and greens, even a few little splashes of purple, and I love this. I get weird, like, I'll find one spot in the fabric and I'm like, ooh, I really like that spot. I want to make sure the stitching doesn't cover it. So I think her head's going to go up here, and then I feel like this is the most boring part of the fabric, so I think her tail will cover that for the most part. But the problem with this piece of fabric, so this is going to be an upcoming video for me. This is how I do it type video. Here we go. So this piece of fabric has a hole from a slub. So let me see if I can show it to you without knocking everything on the floor. So, yep, right there. So there's actually a broken thread. I think it had a fabric slub in it, and I was cleaning it up, and sometimes that works out and other times you get a hole. So I'm going to do a video on how to repair a piece of fabric that is over dyed. And it's going to involve reweaving the threads basically. And one of my whips, Queen Mermaid, I had a slub, went to fix it, oops, and I snipped a thread. So I had to repair it, and I posted this on, I can't remember which group it was on, but it was one of the Facebook groups. And I kind of was like, Fabric 911, who dis? Here's the plan of treatment. What do you guys think? And, you know, so I'm going to do a video on what I did to fix it. Because if you've done Hardinger, you'll probably already kind of know how to fix it. But I kind of, because my fabric's over dyed, like, one way you can fix a hole in the fabric is to pull the thread out, take another thread off the end, and reweave it. Now, when the fabric is over dyed like this, that can look kind of weird. So I'm going to show you what I do. Also, it's because I'm lazy and I don't want to reweave an entire thread across the fabric. So this is my jury rig band-aid to it. So I'm going to be doing a video on that soon. Fabric 911. So, and while I'm talking about that, let me show you Queen Mermaid, and I'll show you where this was on her, and I'll kind of show you how I fixed it. And this will probably be in the video too, like how to fix it. So So here's my progress on Queen Mermaid. I think I was working on this when I last talked to you guys. So I got the purple fin train, whatever the hell this is, because it looks like fabric, but it looks like it's attached to her. So I'm like, fin fabric? But oh my God, I'm dying for this fabric. I love it. And this is what I want whenever I get fabric. So now where my hole was, it was like right, hang on, let me see here. Okay. It was right there. I know you guys probably can't see anything, and even when I show you the back, you're not going to be able to see much, but I'll try and get better close-ups. So basically what I did was the hole was like right here. So I just went here, I took both ends and I pulled them and I dragged them both in towards it, and then I tied them together. And the stitching doesn't cover it, but it's close, very, very close. So you can see right here where I've tied the threads together. So I patched the fabric. So you can't tell up front. The only way you can kind of tell, and this is, you'll probably only be able to tell it because I'm pointing it out. Even, yep. So you can see kind of there's a line. Just a little line. Like you can see it right here a little bit. It doesn't show much, but that's just the only way you can tell. And it doesn't affect the color because I kind of just drew it in. So that will be a video on how to fix that, because I'm a bit of a picker. If I've got a fabric with a slub in it, I don't want to stitch over this lumpy, gross looking slub. I'm going to try and fix it. And if I snag the thread and break it, I'm just going to fix it. So I'd rather it look like this than have a fat slub. And if those of you that don't know what slubs are, let me see if I can find a big one. You see them more commonly on linen than even weave, but I've had them on even weaves before too. Basically, it's where the threads, which, you know, even weave is called that because the threads are uniform. On linen, not so much. Some threads can be a little bit fatter than others, so it can cause your stitching to be a little bit uneven. But there's a couple slubs where there's like more fabric sticking to the thread that you can kind of sometimes separate it out and clean it up a little bit, make it look neater. Yeah, I'm not seeing too many in here, but yeah, I'll find a piece for you and I'll show it to you guys. And when I show that video, I'll be sure that I have a piece of fabric so I can show you what it is. But basically, it's just like a fat, ugly thread, and sometimes it's all kind of knotted up, and sometimes I've just been able to like pick it and pull it away, kind of like, I don't know, like a lint trap almost. So, but yeah, there's that. Okay, back to designs that are being prepped to start. I'm gonna move my pile here because I'm afraid it's gonna fall. There we go. And so here is a non-mermaid, yay! I like mermaids, but I do sometimes want to work on dry stuff, so, which is what's behind me. I'll show you her later. She's a new start. So this is Mira again. Very ideal. So I had mentioned I had a few fabrics and I was doing a toss, and I liked the fabric, but it was a Pictures Plus fabric and I didn't want to wait a million years to get it. But they had a piece that was big enough of a color that I had and I loved it. But you know how that usually goes. Like, ooh, I have this fabric and I love it. I'm going to order another piece. You get it and it's funky. Well, it wasn't funky. It was the right color. So this is what I'm going to do her on. And at first, I've always thought of doing her on green. Like, I don't know what it is, but I've always just thought, you know, like a light green, you know, would be good for her. But there is a lot of light green in here, like her wings green. There's all this greenery and stuff here. So I thought, well, I don't want it to get lost. But when I did the toss, the greens didn't really get lost. It's not quite, which is why I was like, you know, you've got this one piece and everything looks okay. But the piece you get might be 2 shades a different way and then your toss is going to go off. Well, I'm so relieved that this was pretty much the exact same color as what I already had. And I'm going to show you pretty much what sold me on this toss. So first I'm going to show you the greens on it, because I was like, okay, this could be bad. So here's, I'm going to space them out because some of them are closer than others. Here's all the greens. And like this one and this one are the only ones, you know, that are a little, you know, questionable, but I think it'll be okay, especially when they're mixed with these other greens. So yeah, but like I said, what sold me on it was all the yellow in her dress and the pink in her bedding. Look at that. It just goes, oh. So yeah, that was my main goal, was because of the yellow, because there's a lot of yellow in this design. I mean, have another look, you know, see her dress. It's very yellow. I wanted that to pop, you know, so I felt like it really did that. So, and it's not opalescent. I'm committed to doing it on non-opalescent. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be okay. I'll be okay. So, but, and this piece is big enough. So yay, I'm excited about that. And I'll be getting her started here shortly. I'm going to throw her on the bars and yeah, we're ready to go, which I'm going to need my big bars because this is 32 count, which I decided because, you know, it's a lot of heavy stitching. So I like the coverage of 32 count, and I'll just have to deal with the beads. So on 32 count, the stitch area, or actually the fabric that I need, is going to be 21.5 by 25.5. So that's pretty big. I'm trying to think. I think I have a set of 26-inch bars, so that'll be what she's on. So yay. If not, I have a 30-inch bar. So there's Fairy Idyll. So I'm going to be getting her started fairly soon. And then all those other pieces. So let's go back over some of the whips. So after I finished working on Queen Mermaid, I rotated to Renaissance Mermaid. So I was in a mermaid mood. Let me show you what I got done. And the last time you guys saw her, she was just a torso with about half of her hair done. So here is, I started with her hair. I decided to finish it. I was a good girl, because sometimes I can jump around a little bit. But so here she be. And I not only finished her hair, sans beads, I'm saving them for last, I got a good start on her tail. So yeah, and this is kind of how I do not grid. I kind of do my own gridding by picking a very specific color that makes it easy to stitch around, so I don't have to count so much because I'm lazy. Or smart, pick which one, I don't care. But so yeah, and this was my first time, this is gonna sound funny, first time stitching a Mirabella with silk. It's funny, all the other Mirabellas I've done didn't have silk, so, but yeah, I'm liking it. And I can't wait to get the zircon or dark turquoise colored beads on there, because that's kind of why I really love this fabric. And I'm so mad on my Instagram, the fabric color doesn't show true, and even on this screen it's looking a lot grayer. It's more of a tanzanite color, and it really sets off the green and blue colors in her tail. So that's why I picked this piece, which funny, this piece and the piece behind me are very similar. They're by the same dyer, and this fabric doesn't have a name. Like, she just dyes things at random and puts them up on Facebook and sometimes on eBay. And this is a Monaco. Typically, I don't like even weaves. I prefer linens just because Monaco is so thick. The only nice thing about it is showing this to you guys here. I don't have, it's so thick that the light doesn't shine through, so that's nice. I think there were some serious slubs on this one too. Maybe I can find a slub here and show it to you. Just because I've noticed, you know, even weaving is supposed to have slubs, but I've seen it a lot. So it's like false advertising. But I love this color, especially when I was holding it next to Mermaid of the Pearls up there, like how the turquoise and the dark purples kind of set each other off, because I have this wall here that I want covered with mermaids, and I want them in many different kind of seascapes. I don't want them all just to be blue. So, all right, so that's Renaissance Mermaid. So I was having fun on her, and I just hit a good stopping point. And then I had been stitching mermaids for a little while, and I was like, I want to stitch something dry. So I got a new start in, and I started Gypsy Queen, who I call Tribal Queen because Gypsy's a racial slur. So, and she's a lot of fun, but I never liked the bleh kind of fabrics. Now, I was torn on her because she has so many jewel tones. So I was afraid of not afraid, but, you know, leery of doing her on too bright of a fabric because of all her jewel tones. But then I started looking in the fabric viewer, and I kind of got on, like, I want to do her on a color that kind of evokes kind of a nighttime kind of feel to it. And I found a couple pieces on the viewer that I was like, ooh, maybe I'll order that and see how that looks. But then I bought the floss and I just started doing some tossing, and I landed on this fabric. And I am so happy. I think it's looking so cool. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'll bring it closer so y'all can see. But let me get her off for you here. And I got a decent start on her. I like to start in the middle, so that's what I did right here. And I'm working on kind of her corset, and then I jumped on a dread and started on her hair. So yeah, there she is. And this fabric is more purple than the other fabric. That other one's got more of a blue tanzanite, but this one's got more purple to it. But there is kind of, you can kind of see it. There's almost subtle, almost green. And I think that'll be cool because in her hair, she's got all these like leaves and stuff like that. So, but yeah, isn't that cool? I love it. And I think she's just gonna look so good on here. Let me see if I can get the threads to show up without dumping them everywhere, which I did a toss on Instagram that showed up pretty well. But look at how those royal colors, even the purples, just yes, I'm all about it. I love it. And I'm really loving all the jewel tones, you know, like I'm a color whore, you know, even in tattoos, like I tend to like color. So, but I'm enjoying her, and I'm going to stay on her for a little bit because I'm having fun. She's very organic. Like, she's got all this stuff in her hair, and she's got all this jewelry, and I am going to stitch her skin over one, which is not my most favorite thing in the world to do, just because I have to rewire. I'm going to let you guys in my brain for a minute. Sorry, it's going to be a little uncomfortable. But when I stitch over one, I do a tent stitch, so with 2 threads. So basically just a half cross. And since I'm doing that, I do my stitches, I start them the opposite because I want all them to lay all the same way, you know. I don't even know if that makes a difference, but in my brain it says I have to do it. But then I screw my own self up because if I don't pay attention, sometimes I can fall into habit and cross the wrong way. Or once I finish the over one and I go back to doing over 2, I've now gotten into the habit of doing it the other way. So I have to like rewire my brain after doing it. And I don't know, sometimes I think just stitch it, you know, your usual way, you know, because then you won't mess yourself up potentially. Because I don't frog for a lot. Like, I will usually fudge around things, but if I have a cross going the wrong way, now granted, I probably will just whoop, cross over it the other way. So I'm kind of lazy that way. But that is one thing that really bugged me. Actually, waiting for ships that I have hanging up in my bathroom, which I did 20 plus years ago, you know, back when I was just stitching on a whim and not really following any rules, which, you know, I don't really follow rules anyways, but still, like, I do like the stitches to lay this the right way. There's a little chunk. She's got a very solid head of 3371, which so does she. Nora Corbet really likes that color for brunettes. But there's a solid like 6 stitches right in the middle of her hair where I've crossed the opposite way, and I see it and it drives me crazy. So, but yeah, and another thing I'm planning on, which also for Queen Mermaid, thankfully, I talk a lot of smack about the corsets on the mermaid. I still don't love them, but I will say it does spare me some of the over one skin just for covering up certain things. So she doesn't have as much skin. She's basically arms and a face, and that's it. So I'm planning on subbing the DMC for the Splendor Silks, and I'm having a hard time finding them. They come in a card with like a lot of them on there. There's like 2 flesh tone variety cards, white flesh tones, I should say. I'm gonna have to find the brown ones too, because I do want to do some brown skin tones. So I'm wanting to locate those so I can do the over one skin and silk, just because how cool would that be? So yeah, that's something I'm looking at doing for both of those designs, and I'll probably even do it for Brilliant Mermaid. I don't know that I'm going to do it for Terrence Nolan's, just because his charts are kind of hard to follow sometimes, because a lot of times the chart is several copies of the same thing, but it'll just say do the back stitching on this page in these colors, do the back stitching on this page in these colors, and I don't know, sometimes they don't fit together super well. Like, I don't know, they're just a little discombobulated. That, and that's a lot of skin on that piece, so I'm not sure. That, and I'm doing the Stingrays over one. I don't know, like, over one's not my favorite, and I don't want to say I hate it, but at the same time I really don't love it. So yeah, that's a thing. So that's pretty much it for my whips. Orders that are out. I told you I had to order some metallic for her, which thankfully I checked my stash, and one of the threads that I was missing I had already, so yay, that's fun. But I'm really wanting to do, she's got like some cuffs and some bangles on her arms and stuff, and I'm wanting to do those because I like having every solid stitch around the over one done, because then it makes it easier to count the over one, especially when I'm converting it just visually. You know, I'm just doing 4 stitches in place of 1, you know, so I'm just doing it on the fly. I like having all the over 2 stitches around it done, because then it makes it easier for me to just throw those in there. So I decided to get that metallic so I could do her bracelets and stuff like that. So I just ordered it. That, and it was in stock, which has not been a thing for a little while. So I thought, get it while you can, girl. So, and then another thing I ordered, I think last video I was talking about my Chatelaine wish list, and I hadn't placed my kit order. And I think I was going to place my order for the charts, or actually I think I told you guys, I ordered the Rainforest quilt. I ordered the Arctic mandala because I love all the colors in it, and I ordered the Irish mandala. So and then kit wise, I ended up ordering Hawaiian Garden, which was a pricey one, so I almost only ordered that one, and I also ordered Mushroom and Fern. And I'm super excited about Mushroom and Fern because I managed to score a toadstool dragon. Isn't it so cute? I love it. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. And not only did I get a mushroom dragon, which I got these at separate times. She posted these separately. But I got a little toadstool. Isn't this so cute? I love the textures in this. So I'm going to use these little shroomy guys when I do the Mushroom and Fern, and when I do the beaded toadstool tile. So that's going to be fun. I'm excited about that. Also, Clay by Kim's. I was going to do a Clay by Kim tour, and I was thinking about doing that for my 1-year Flosstube anniversary, which, my gosh, like, I just now remembered, like, hey, this is pretty much past the point of my Flosstube anniversary for a year. So yay, we're still kicking it. But I was going to film something, and I was really thinking of doing a Clay by Kim tour. But then I got to thinking, and I was watching some of Coco Hamas Stitchery videos, and she kind of had the same issue with Clay by Kim's that I did. Like, she couldn't get them for a while, and then finally she could get them, and she noticed that there's the seasonal pattern with them, you know, like there's floral stuff in the spring, there's leaves in the autumn, there's, you know, the Christmas stuff in the winter, that kind of thing. And she knows she kind of recycles themes. Well, she kind of did this thing where she collected for a year, and then she kind of, you know, was like tapped out. She said she was done. Probably not, because how can you stop? They're so fun. But I realized pretty much my year for that is going to be in December, you know, because that's when I first started being able to get them. Like, I don't have any summer, spring stuff except for some of the tide pools that I got off eBay. I don't have any fall, any Halloween stuff. So I've decided I'm going to pause that idea until I've completed my year. And hopefully I have a solid year of themed Clay by Kim. So I will save that video for later. But I'll still show you them as I get them, you know, it's cool. It's all cool. I do need to make a new home for my Clay by Kims because they're getting pretty full. I mean, I've got this many on my stitching. First off, they make me super happy and I love looking at them. Second, I'm running out of space for storing them, so I kind of have to keep them on at all times. That, and I've got my peacock on there because I adore it, and I just want it with me always, which I need to rotate to peacock tapestry, or probably more likely Misty Morning Vineyard by Chatelaine, because that's got peacocks on it, because I have not had my peacock needle minder on a piece that has peacocks on it yet, and I'm really wanting to work on a chatelaine because I haven't touched the chatelaine since I worked on Serengeti and got that started. I do want to start some more chatelaines, but I also would like to finish one this year, and the closest I have to that is Misty Morning Vineyard. So I'm really kind of wanting to dig that one out and put my peacock needle binder on it because that just makes me all happy in weird ways. So, but yeah. Oh, and some fabric that I've ordered. Which, by the way, that's an interesting topic right now is fabrics, you know, because some companies are like having mad delays, others not so much. Like I ordered from Seraphim Fabric and I got it fairly quickly. So I'm like, why is it taking pictureless plus 6 months? I realize they're bigger, so maybe they have more supply and demand to meet up with, because I know they stock a lot of LNSs. Like I'm just like, why does it take you 6 months and it takes other places are all saying 6 to 8 weeks? Like, I don't know, I don't get it. Too bad I love Pictures Plus. So, but I've also ordered some from Fabrics by Stephanie, hopefuls for some mandalas. And one that I'm really kind of itching to start is the Caribbean mandala. And the reason I'm itching to start that one is because of all the trips that I'm planning. Me and the kid in September, last year we were supposed to go to South Florida because he wanted to see the Everglades. I've been there before, and so I was like, yeah, let's do the Everglades. Well, then COVID happened, so that didn't happen. But we're revisiting it this year, and so we're flying to Miami, seeing Miami for a little bit, because the only time I've been in Miami is in an airport. You know, I've never been in the town or on the beaches or anything like that. So we're going to do Miami, then we're going to do the Everglades, and then we're going to drive the Keys, and that's the part that I'm super excited for, because basically Key West is practically the Caribbean, you know. And then a friend of mine, she and I, we're going to do a girls trip in November, and we're going to go to Aruba because I want to hang out on the beach with the flamingos. So that's going to happen. And that's also Caribbean. So I'm in a Caribbean kind of mood. There's flamingos on the Caribbean mandala, and there's also like cool little like banana trees and some little birds and some fishies. You know, I always love my fishies. So I'm kind of itching to start that one. So I'm looking for the right fabric to do it on. I had ordered a piece from Silk Weavers, but the colors are kind of bleh, like you can barely even tell they're there. So I've got another piece ordered that I'm hoping will do. And I do have another piece that I'm kind of eyeing it for. And I'm thinking, you know, this might work. Maybe do it on this. I think I've actually showed it to you guys too. So if I end up going with that, you will probably recognize it. But again, I'm deciding on that. I also don't have the floss for it yet. So I'm going to go floss shopping for it. Then I can do a toss and then I can make up my mind. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. So I'm going to try and post probably in the next 2 weeks or so. It depends on how much progress I get done and, you know, if I get stuff in, if I have stuff to talk about, you know. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye!